Welcome to University Consultants of America. I'm Bob Levine, president of UCA. At UCA, we help students and families achieve their college dreams. In today's landscape, college admissions is a competitive environment. There are people from all over America and all over the world trying to get into the same schools. At UCA, we help with that process. It's competitive and it's confusing. Every year, they change the applications, they will change their deadlines, they will change the materials that students need. It's practically impossible for parents and students and even high school counselors to keep up with all this. We help with that. It's a lot of work. In some cases, college applications will have up to 5 essays, and on top of that, short answers, perhaps even 9 or 10. They're looking at all of these things, and all of them need to be to the highest quality. It's an emotional process. During the high school senior year, when you are applying for colleges, there's a lot going on, not just school, but the additional pressure of doing these applications can cause tension within the home, within the school, between friends. We would like to help with that anxiety, but more importantly, we would like to help with your dreams. Unfortunately, and most of our counselors that we work with tell us this, the high school counselors are overworked. They have too much to do. They will say that what they do is primarily damage control. Even those who have the time perhaps do not have the experience that we at UCA have. We have people experienced in admissions from Ivy League schools like Harvard, Yale, Princeton. We have people experienced from Stanford and UVA, from all across the United States, for all manner of schools. And again, we're here to help with a process that is competitive, confusing, overwhelming, and really beyond the means of most families. When picking a company to help your son or daughter on the college admission process, what should you look for? You should look for help in writing essays and editing essays. Not just, I'll take a look at it and I'll make it sound good, but starting from the top with the concept, the organization, drafting, and editing. You need somebody who's a professional at that. But there's more to the process than just writing essays. Many highly selective colleges will have interviews. They will ask your student questions, they will look for answers, they will evaluate your child and the appropriateness for their college. You need interview preparation. If you're an athlete, it's not just about your film and your statistics. It's about whether the coach likes you. You need to be able to interact with adults. You should also be looking for personal marketing and strategy. The truth is, these applications are not a single essay. They're not an SAT score. They are a multifaceted piece. Think of it as an infomercial, something that is read literally by admissions reps in about 30 minutes. We're looking at the entire strategy. We're looking at this as if it is a decision to buy or not buy. And that decision belongs to the person reading. So, when putting your entire package together, remember, they're going to read it in one piece, not in pieces. So, before you get started, you should find a consultant who can assist you with the entire strategy. And finally, how do you find the college that's really a good fit? There's a lot to that. It has to do with the scholarship and the academics, but it has to do with much more. It has to do with the environment. What kind of activities will they be having? If they're only in class 15 hours a week, they're there a lot longer. What will they be doing? Who will they be doing with? What is the student body like? Is it diverse? Is it active? Do they put the students together in a way where they actually interact with each other? Truth is, the youth of our country and of our world are just as intelligent as the adults. They're just less experienced. And when they interact with each other in a viable and valuable way, that is as much a part of the education as class. And then you need to understand the location. What is available outside the campus walls? A college in Washington, D.C. is going to be a different experience than a college in Wichita, Kansas. Same classes, same professors, it's just not going to be the same. So when looking for an advisor, make sure that you look beyond rankings. Make sure that you look beyond what an academic area might be. understand the entire fit, and make sure that your advisors are able to take care of all aspects, from essays to interview to marketing and strategy to finding the right fit. People ask me all the time, when's the best time to get started? Many students don't start their essays and applications until the fall of their senior year. That's a big problem. It's hard to get everything done, and it's hard to do it well with that kind of time constraint and pressure. We recommend that students start writing their essays in the summer before their last year. That's when there's more free time, that's when there's less pressure, and that's when the product is much better. But even before that, we recommend that students start this process in the second semester of their junior year. Why? Because they have to understand themselves. They have to understand what they're marketing. They have to understand what their preferences are when they're picking colleges. And if they don't, then they're going to go places that may not be the best fit. So here at UCA, we start with guided self-analysis and personal marketing. Why? Each student has to sell the product, and if they don't know the product, there might be a problem. Let me tell you about University Consultants of America, because I designed the program to give each student a team approach. Each student gets 3 people working with them: a client manager, an editor, and an interviewer. The client manager works with students at the front end and is always a liaison to students and parents, and the client manager works to help the students understand their personal preferences, their personality tendencies, where their competencies might lie. The client manager will help students find those colleges that are a good fit and will help the students identify the strategy, the overall marketing scheme that will work in the application. The editors, our editors are professional editors. They're not graduate students. They've been around for a while. They come from places like Harvard and MIT and UVA. And our editors work with the students on multiple drafts, from concept to final polish, so that what you submit is personal, is genuine, and is compelling. The third member of the team is an interviewer. Our interviewers are experienced. They have done real college admissions interviews, and this is the moment where students will get to go through the process as a real dry run, if you will, so that when they're done, they feel like, I got this. We work one-on-one. We do have some tutorials that are online, but every person has face-to-face via digital conferencing over the internet, and we have students all around the world. So it's not like you're getting a faceless class. You're getting people helping you one-on-one. We have a digital student portal. What that means is there's availability of the information at all times, not just for the students, but also for the parents. Parents can sign into the portal and see what's going on. We want the parents to be involved. We want the students to be involved. We want everybody to be involved because, frankly, as they say, it takes a village. This is a team approach, not just our team, but yours as well. Finally, we will have online resources for you, things that nobody else has, things that we have developed, proprietary things such as databases of schools and protocol for certain types of essays, and information that, frankly, you can't get anywhere else. At UCA, we give you a team approach from top to bottom, including researchers that work in our back office and overseers that make sure that everybody is on top of doing their job on time and well. Let's talk for a moment about writing essays. This is one of the places where legend, myth, and mistake is rampant. Most students think, and there are books that will tell you, that you have to write like Hemingway. Truth is, you have to write like yourself, and you have to talk about yourself and talk about your strengths, because they're trying to pick a person, not a model citizen. It doesn't work that way. At UCA, we help students with a writing process in a way that most students have never seen before. They don't teach it this way in school. We call it CODE. CODE stands for 4 things: concept, organization, drafting, and editing. Concept is primarily important. There are prompts in the essays, and they're asking for very important things, very specific things. Each school is looking for something different, and we want the students to understand not just what the schools want, but also what the students can provide to the school. Basically, there's a merger between college and student, And conceptually, if you don't know what you're going to say, whatever you write will be empty, if not entirely, at least in part. So at UCA, we start by working with the students one-on-one about concept, what you're going to say in every essay. Then we teach you how to organize it. Call it an outline, call it order. But the ideas must be in a direction that makes sense to the reader. Now, most students know how to do outlines, and they turn them in high school, and then they write the essay without benefit of knowing whether their outline was any good. So they don't really know what to do with them. Here, we make the students develop outlines with as much specificity as possible because it becomes the guide for drafting. And I didn't say writing, I said drafting. Drafting is different from writing. Most students write, and what that means to me is that they write by drafting and editing at the same time. It works like this. Type, 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 backspace. Type, type, delete. Type, 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 move something around. Continue typing, and continue doing this until at long last, you're done. But what happens is, you're not getting the flow. By definition, if you're stopping to edit while you're writing, you're missing out on the flow. And your final piece will, by nature, be disjointed, staccato, jumpy. It's not the best way. We give you another way. Start with the outline and type as fast as possible. Our editors want to see the mistakes. They want to see misspellings. They want to see syntax errors. They want our students to let it out. And the only way you can get your flow is to have your ideas done and ordered. Print the outline, type as fast as possible, let it go. Most college essays, the long ones, the personal statements, are about 650 words. Some are 500 words. But those are medium-sized essays. At UCA, we challenge our students to get them done within a certain amount of time, 22 minutes. In 22 minutes on average, our students finish not 650 words, but 1,200 words. In fact, they've gone up to 1,800 and 1,900 words in that short amount of time. Why? Because brilliance comes out when you let it out. Then we get to the editing. Our editors will look at what's come out and delete the pieces that are not relevant, that are over the top, that really don't get us from A to B. It then goes back to the student for their own edit, back to the editor for a final polish. Why? Ultimately, what we've done is we've come up with the idea. We've made sure that it's organized. We've made sure that the student's voice has flowed out of them. We've cut it down to the things that are really necessary, important. We get the student back involved, and we get a final polish. And you know what? The essays our students write are amazing. Let's talk for a moment about interview preparation. Interview preparation applies not only to the college admissions interview, but it also applies to recruiting for athletes and in scholarships. Our interview preparation is more deep than perhaps anybody. I have 30 years experience interviewing students for Harvard, and we created just the interview portion, has 3 parts to it. Part 1 is a tutorial. This tutorial takes well over an hour to watch, and we'll have it for you online. In this tutorial, we teach everything from how to take a business card to what to wear, how to change your voice, how to get your pacing, what time to show up to interviews, what questions you will be asked, and how to control the interview in a way where the student feels like the master and the interviewer is the puppet. Then we go to one-on-one intensive Q&A. In this case, the client manager comes back and talks to the student, asking the same question repeatedly. This is the moment where the students have to learn their body language, their voice. We have techniques to get that voice out. Typically, students come in and they go into robot mode. They start thinking they're in an interview. Hi, my name is Bob, and I go to this school, and it becomes very, well, robotic. We want the students to break back into themselves, because truly what the interviewers are looking for is a conversation. And in this Q&A, our client managers will ask the students to rephrase the answer over and over to get melody and timing and pitch and eye contact and all of those things that allow for a great conversation, which is ultimately what the interviewer wants. Then, once they get the feel of it, the mock interview is the moment where our students get a tremendous advantage. By sitting down and going through a short version of a college admissions interview, our students walk out with a debrief of what they did right and what kind of adjustments they need, but more importantly, with the confidence to walk into any interview and enjoy it. Our students love their college admissions interviews. They feel so natural. Some of those interviews, which would normally take 45 minutes, can last up to 2 hours and 45 minutes. And if you can get an adult to talk with you for 2 hours and 45 minutes, you've done something good. So what University Consultants of America wants is this last piece, this interview portion, the thing that in many cases rockets students to the top of the list. We want our students to be incredibly prepared. And so we've created a process that historically does exactly that. If there's nothing else that makes us better than the rest, our interview preparation is number one. Let's talk for a moment about personal marketing and strategy. Understand that the admissions representatives will read your student's application from top to bottom in a certain order. And we want you to present in a way that at the moment they are done, they will grade and comment on your student in the highest possible light. How does that grading work? Well, for the major universities, the largest ones, the public ones, they typically rely upon the standardized test score as the first and primary indicator. That would be the SAT or the ACT. They will look at grades, but basically, based upon numbers, they will filter the students into the yes, the no, and the maybe pile. In fact, those essays they write really are the differentiators between those who are in the maybe pile, and that's why they can be so important for the big schools. The private colleges and those that use a different method, a holistic method, look at much more things. They look at not just the SAT and ACT, but there'll be additional testing, SAT-2 subject tests. They will have recommendations. They will have the interviews. They will have additional essays. When you see that a college asks for these additional things, whether they're on the common application or otherwise, they're using a holistic process. And it's very important to understand what they're doing. They are not grading students based upon numbers alone. In fact, what they're doing is splitting the student into essentially three attributes. One attribute is academics, but only one. Another, activities. They will grade your student in where they are in terms of activities. That would include extracurriculars. It includes hobbies. It includes sports, community service. It includes work and even family commitments. They will see what sandbox your child plays and how well they play when they get there. So they're going to be evaluating the activities separately from the academic potential because they understand that students will be doing things outside of the classroom. It is the third attribute that they grade that is perhaps the most important, and that is the human side, sometimes called personal qualities or character. Things like integrity, interactive nature, whether you collaborate or compete. They want to know that the students they're bringing on campus will be part of a vibrant community, will work together, not against, will do all the right things and few of the wrong things. So they will grade students in their human side. This is where most applicants fail. They don't have data that can be objectively proved for the human side. There are no test scores, there are no grades, there are no awards, there are no medals, there are no hours served. It is entirely subjective. So how to get this information is critical, and being sure that you have it in your application is especially critical. It starts with the main essay, but it should be something that weaves throughout. You need to let them know who you are. You need to let them know what makes you, you, what you as a human being can contribute. And the nice thing is, you don't have to worry about being a model applicant. You need to worry about being yourself. Because the likelihood is that students who are applying, they're the only ones with their birthday that grew up in their household, that have their education and their interests. They are already unique. They're already distinguishable. But usually they forget to tell anybody. We want to make sure that before you write one word, the student understands what they want to tell them in terms of the whole grading process of academics, activities, and personal. We want to make sure that the human side, whatever it is that makes you you, is woven into every piece so that not only can you get some data into the personal part of the evaluation, but you can get the most compelling data. Because here's the thing. At the best schools, those who get in are usually the nicest kids. And those kids are the ones who let the admissions officers know who they are and what they're all about. So at UCA, when we talk understanding oneself through guided self-analysis and putting together a personal marketing strategy, what we're really saying is making sure that each student presents himself or herself genuinely, not just a resume, not just the things they have done, but the ideas, the core qualities that suggest what they will do. The college and graduate school admissions process is a difficult one. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of misunderstandings that need to be cleared up. There's a lot of pressure and tension. University Consultants of America was designed to help. But go ahead and do your research. Check out our website, talk to our people, and check out our competition. We think you'll choose us, but let me tell you why you might consider us. It's our people and our program. Our people are experienced, they are experts, they are professional. They're not just graduate students, and each student gets a team of experts. Our program was designed to address every portion of the application process. That's why we don't start with essays, we start with the personal marketing. So if the students can present themselves in as compelling a manner as possible, we work every step of the way on the essays, and we go deep into the interviews so that our students can be effective in that last, perhaps most important moment in the entire process. The University Consultants of America, we want to help people everywhere. Our students inspire us, and we hope if we can be part of the team that helps you achieve your goals, well, that's why we do what we do. Thank you. University Consultants of America, your college admissions experts.